welcome back to Tony Northeastern. Today we're going to still be concentrating on this area here. The idea now is to get this ballasted and create a scene in that corner. Right, here we are, back where we were from last week, and just want to show you something. Here we have a hopper. It's a Proza's H-Ho hopper, and it's what I use to ballast the straights. Basically you just fill in the hopper and then just run it down and it fills in between the sleepers. Brilliant little gadget. You've probably seen loads of these on YouTube before, but it's ideal for doing the straights. Now basically if you fill it up, I normally use a spoon to do this job. Right, the next job is to just run it straight down the track. Just like so. And then just fill in that's not bad go, not bad effort. Right, I shall continue and then get back to you when all the ballasting in that area is finished. Okay, just a quick tip. I normally use a small 6-inch rule just to flatten the ballast, just by using the weight of the rule. It just flattens it naturally. Okay, it's coming along, and I just spoon it around the point areas. Alright, as you can see, I have now ballasted all this area now, from the hut all the way through Tyne Dock platforms, all the way down to the footbridge, and the footbridge is now glued in place, hence why I've got those blocks sitting in the middle, keep it in situ. And that's going to take at least a day or two to dry. So we'll leave it up there for now. And but in the meantime, I've got a little job to do over at the bench. So I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, here we are back at the bench. And what I've got here is a card kit for LNER concrete Lineside huts. It's a company called Model Railway Sceneries. I'm sure you've heard of them plenty of times before, but it's the first time I've come across these. So I'll have a go at making these. You get 2 in a packet, and I think it's about £7 for the 2, and thought I'll give it a go. One of these will go over at Tyne Dock on that little siding that was made up. I'm just looking at the instructions, and the instructions are quite good, as you can see. quite detailed instructions. Okay, I've cut a couple of pieces out. First pieces is A1 and A2, and basically it's the back wall and the concrete fascias that goes on the front. What you've got to be wary of is when you're cutting these out, make sure you get every single one of these little tabs when you're cutting through, to score them out, because if you leave one behind you can quite easily tear the card. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make both of them together. Saves time if you build them both together, I guess. But yeah, so that's ready for gluing. So I use the old rocket set. Just a little bit on the back. And it says in the instructions to keep it flush, keep all the edges flush and true to the top. Right. That's the first piece. And C1 and C2, which is the side panel, I think. It says there, flush the top. C1, C2 is the side panel. Right, so I've already cut that out ready. So I shall glue that together. Right, so I have one end panel and one door panel. So I'll quickly glue the other one up and then we'll get back here for the next part. Okay, I've stuck the back of the Lineside hut to the base in readiness, and as you can see I've got quite a few bits and pieces already cut and ready to go. So the next part would be the door panel. So it says use a block to keep the sides square and upright, but I reckon if you use the parts themselves they'll keep them square and upright. So that's what I decided to do. And if we put the front one in now, that should just sit in there nicely. As you can see, that will keep them square if you make up all your sides and then put them together, and that will keep them upright and square. Right, so that's that done. So keeping that square. I think I'll have one right hand door opening and one left hand door opening. I find if you've got a little run of glue, use a damp cotton bud and just wipe the excess off. Right, now the back partition. Just needs pushing out at the bottom. That's about right, that's it. There's one. So what I'll do, I'll get the other one to exactly the same stage as this one, and then we'll see where we go from there. But quite straightforward, quick and easy. Okay, we have our two Lineside hut bodies almost done. I've drilled 2 holes in the bottom, well, one on each, one on that one and one on that one. That's just to take some cables, because I'm going to put an LED in each one of these when they're finished. So the next stage now is to put in these roof rafters. So I've got one left to glue together. spot glue on there, put this one together, and they just sit in across there. Like so. So start gluing them in. Just need a little dab in each. Right, so the next job on these, now that the roof supports are in, is to put the lights in, I think. So I'll have to make up some LEDs before the roof's go on. Okay, as you can see, I've fitted the LEDs. I've made a cardboard bracket for the LED to sit into, and while I was waiting for soldering iron to get hot, I had painted the windows ready. So it's been a little bit productive, I think, and I'm not going to put any detail inside. I don't think it's worth it, not for a Lineside hut. Especially where it's going to be located, but just to have a little background light in there, I think that'll be fine. Right, so we ain't got a lot left to do to these. I've got the roof to fit and the door, and that's about it. And then we've got to paint them up. So it's a nice little filling job while the ballasting's drying out. Right, so the next job is to fit the roofing. So I'll have to cut these out and glue them onto the card ready. So I shall do that. So 1, 2 roofs. Don't think we need the instructions anymore. Two roofs, and the other bit, what have we got now? I've got a couple of frames, haven't we? Roof frames, yep. 2 roof frames. The next bit is to glue the flat roofs onto the huts themselves. And then there's the chimneys and the door, of course. Okay, let's give this a go. I think the best way to fit this is to put the roof on upside down, like this, and then you can see where your rafters are going. Make sure that they're equal. Okay. 1 down. 1 to go. Hello, welcome back. I've painted and fitted the doors, and I have fitted the chimney pots. Now, I'm not too happy with what we've got on the top there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint them semi-matte black, and then add a little bit of ballast, just a fine sprinkling of ballast while the paint's wet, just to see what it comes out like. I don't know how quick this paint dries. Right, I've got the black paint on. I'm using a very fine ballast that I've been using for ballasting the track today, so I'll just give that a little just to there you go, how's about that? Look at that. That's better than what was there, wasn't it? I'll do the same with the other one now. It's not bad, is it? And the other one, the other one's fine as well. Okay, so that's that bit done. So the next bit to do now is to paint them concrete grey. Right, here we are again, and I've mixed up a bit of matte black and a bit of grey to make up a concrete-ish colour. I've had a go at the other one, and basically I am not putting it on quite thick, I'm putting it on quite thin to allow the card to come through, because the card coming through adds a bit of character to the building. So as you can see, concrete is not a very easy colour to mix, but so I've been putting it on quite thin and the card's coming through and it's giving it a bit of realism. So so let's I'm just brushing it on very, very lightly, not overdoing it, just enough to change the colour of the card. You could put it on nice and thick, but if you leave it long enough, the card comes through and it's doing the job for you. Okay, here we have the finished hut. As you can see, I've painted the top edge just a slightly darker grey, and I have weathered them slightly, mainly along the base edge. Along the base edge again, same there, and that is not looking too bad at all. So there's one thing I forgot to do when I was making these, is check to see if the LEDs work. So before I put the roofs on, so I'm going to have to check them now, but it'll be too late if they don't work, because the LEDs are inside firmly fixed. Right, so I shall check them, see if they work, and if they work, we'll go and put these on the layout. Okay, the Lineside hut is now in position, and the lights do work, which is good. The ballast is still damp off yesterday, so I can't do weather the track or run any trains at the moment on this side of the layout. But I have been doing odds and ends. As you can see there, put the signal box temporarily back, and the signalman's got his own little garden. So I think that's all from Tony Northeastern this week, because the ballast is still damp. So thanks for watching.